Welcome to the online course on entrepreneurial mindset at IBA Karachi. We will be discussing a very interesting, small sort of article describing the insights on effectuation, and the title is Empowerment Through Ideas Teaching Effectuation in Pakistan. So, this article is written by Sarasvathy and Gosia Golinska. Sarah is one of the leading entrepreneurship researcher and faculty member in the world. And during a meeting in the United States, as she got exposed to what is happening in the IBA Center for Entrepreneurial Development, she developed a lot of interest in knowing what is happening here. And based on the interview and the observations, Sarah and Gosia, they wrote this interesting article. The main mode of teaching at IB Center for Entrepreneurship is the use of effectuation in the Entrepreneurship Plus model. So this quick short video will be telling how does it impact in the Pakistani context and how we were able to leverage this thing. So this article talks about the IBA Center for Entrepreneurial Development. It tells that initially a traditional approach was adopted in which we were teaching causation. The students were taught marketing research, business planning, and raising money. And even we used to give them $1,000 for seed money in 2011-12. But that didn't go that, you see, result fruitful. And what happened was many of these companies became bankrupt. So, based on the learning which I had during my PhD in Germany and interaction with Sarasvathy's model, we came to know that effectuation is different and it can help people start with as less as possible. So in 2012, we did the first experiment. We taught the first 60 Pakistani students. It was an experiment. We didn't have the seed money to give them, and instead the students found resources from within and Slack resources from within, and they were able to start new ventures from that little whatever it was, who you are, what you know, and whom you know. And interestingly and paradoxically, the absence of money turned out to be a resource, and it encouraged them to be creative. And this pilot test became a very interesting experiment, which was continued again and again. So, as an elite school, IBA was unattainable for most Pakistanis, but with the help of this experiment, the doors of this center were opened for the common people. And the common people started coming in, and you see the traditional education system is it allows only those people who are very well educated or very good in competitive terms, and it generally doesn't offer hope to the common people. So people used to get discouraged, and in this case, it was the other way around. We started teaching them the first principle of effectuation, the bird in hand, and people started knowing and discovering that wow, we have a lot of things. They were told not to compare themselves, and they were told that everybody is unique, and based on your bird in hand, go and try to find out what you can do. So, and then what we found out was that all these things were already present in the local poetry and the poetry of Iqbal. अपनी दुनिया आप पैदा कर अगर जिंदों में है. If you're alive, then create your own world. So this sort of strong messages are already there. So we started using the poems of Iqbal, and there's a concept of khudi, self, to know yourself, who you are, what you know, and those people who develop that, it becomes easy for them. So khudi is synonymous with the divine spark, which is present in every human being. So one must embark on a journey of transformation to tap its power. So Iqbal also talks about dignity and self-respect. So these concepts were introduced through his poems in addition to effectuation, case studies and exercises. As Iqbal says, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. So the translation is, elevate yourself so high that even God, before writing his destiny, asks you, tell me what is your wish. So this bird in hand principle, which was augmented with Urdu poetry, was very much relevant and very much based on the Pakistani culture and religion, and it proved to be transformative. And people stopped saying that I don't have the resources and I don't have good education. So another interesting thing was, which became the key part of this course, was a sense of purpose, looking beyond profit. So in these courses, when we teach them effectual reasoning, we encourage them to put these lessons into action. Every student has to start something to get a certificate. But perhaps more importantly, they're encouraged to spark positive social change, active, you say, change agents. It's about looking beyond selfishness and finding a purpose which can't be just making money. It's how you help someone to become a better human being. Khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. So this the focus on dignity of an individual and a sense of purpose, we call them the pre-effectuation principles. That before effectuation, these things have to be considered, they have to be taught, they have to be on the top of the mind. So these things were added in the Pakistani context, and then we have a sense of wonder. Through the effectual lens, we keep on wondering and wandering. So in this case, our success rate traditionally, which was 10% in causal reasoning, it went up to 80% because we had very less to lose. Calculated risk taking. So we are very hopeful, and that this application of these principles to develop mindset can break the cycle of unemployment and poverty among many in this country. So this is a traditional. This article is about that. See, 100 hours or 50 hours course which we teach at IBA, and it helps them to see themselves and the world through the effectual lens. The causal lens makes you myopic, but the effectual lens looks you look around in wonder, and everything inspires you to be creative. So that is the key words. So Sarasvathy, which is the founder of effectuation theory, she coined these terminologies and she articulated that in a very interesting way. And she's helping various universities and other places to learn effectuation. So Pakistan came up with this effectuation in a very different and interesting way, which is locally embedded, which is embedded in the local tradition, culture, poetry, and it is hoped that developing economies like Pakistan can really transform themselves, their youth, in a very, very positive way. So this article was developed with the support of Darden's Darden Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and thankful to Gosia, Galinska, and Saras, who is the main. Um, so Saras is one of the top 18 entrepreneurial professors and is a leading scholar on the cognitive basis for high performance entrepreneurship.